theme that's kind of concurrent throughout the album is this theme of, we're calling it the vague way. We were already thinking that, but we couldn't really put it into words. And then when we went to go jam at the cabin and write the songs, it turned out the street name that the cabin was on was Camino Vaga.
We recorded and wrote a lot of the songs up in a cabin up in Prescott. And the road it was on was called Camino Vaga, which I think translates to vague pathway. So we thought it was a cool idea to theme the album around this uncertainty of life.
And it like hit us like, okay, that's we couldn't really voice it, but like that's what we're getting at with the theme. You go from like a mediocre life to like, oh, we are in love with what we're doing, we're passionate about it, and it's led us on this different sort of path, and it's like you don't know what's coming next, you don't know what's gonna happen, but there's this vagueness to it, but at the same time there's this magic to it.
The album Stories to Scare the Young was more just like, the idea was just stories we had as people. But this time we wanted like a theme for the whole album because I think that works best with someone who would listen to an album in its entirety.
When we were doing Stories to Scare the Young, we like thought we had it all figured out. We were just like, dude, we were like literally in the studio like, dude, like, is this like, are we making Dark Side of the Moon right now? Like this shit is amazing. That's just what it feels like. But you don't realize that because you're like all stoned from being in the studio. You're just like on this like high. And then you hear it after a month and you're like, oh, this thing's pretty whack. Like, what the fuck were we doing?
Just a collective effort to condense some of the music and make it appealing for live and on CD.
We tamed down a lot of the overly dramatic instrumental elements that we may have used in the past. But I think it's for the best. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we still enjoy the songs just as much as the old ones, but there's something in it for the listener, you know, this time around.
And I think that we all kind of like were more on the same page for this new album. And after playing so many shows off from Stories and you realize like what works live and what doesn't, I think our main focus is more so like on the live shows now and not so much on just like, oh, you know, here's a cool demo, like, do you want to work on this?
Yeah, man, Matt Keller, hashtag Matt Keller, that's so stupid. Whatever the fuck he says, we just say yes, man. Life cycles, they will be spun. No my heart forever. No need to be on the run. I think about it. I'm thinking maybe you should stay. I'm thinking everybody's got something to say though. I wanna chase my sins with you. Cause friends and they gotta enjoy one another. Two of them were demos that Heiner did, 2 of them were demos that I did, and then 2 we like tried to come together and write as an entire band. And those ones came out awesome. Those ended up being the fucking single that we're using. And like our other, those ones came out super like party sounding choruses.
Yeah, so I got to input a lot more of my own ideas, and it ended up coming through in 2 of the songs of the album at least. Started with some really fundamental bass lines, and I kind of just grew from there.
There's one track we still haven't heard yet that I think is gonna end up being my favorite. Because we channeled, I had to do a guitar solo. I only did like one on the whole album. And so we were like, I was like, what the fuck, how should I do this? Like how, and we just like took some tequila shots. And then Keller was like, you should do it like David Gilmour. He's like, David Gilmour's my favorite guitarist. And we both realized how much we like David Gilmour. I played the fucking, so I did like, there's like a Pink Floyd style solo at the very end. Just like, fucking guitars, man.
The guitar is almost an afterthought because you layer the bass, drums, vocals need to be front and center, and then guitar and keyboards kind of fill in. And working with Matt, it's something he stresses a lot, is we want to make sure we can hold the beat and have that groove element, but also be able to hear the vocals.
In the past, I've always like filled songs with too much lyrics, so as I sing and write and learn, I let songs breathe more. So Yesteryear has like more guitar work and breathing parts, and it's just fun to like just groove on stage and dance and stuff like that.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, we gotta like name our band, you know? And we spent a whole like night just like kind of drinking wine together and like trying to like channel some name, you know what I mean? And everything we came up with was so dumb. No one liked. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was the wine. No, but it was. So that's the funny thing. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't Barefoot Wine. But it's similar to that. It's like, because we're thinking of all these names and they're all just sounding like, we're all like, no, we didn't like anything we were coming up with. And then I got kind of fed up and it was late, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning now. We're in my kitchen at my old house and I was like, guys, like, this is it. Like, there's gonna be some magic right now. I'm gonna open this magazine that's on the table. I'm gonna put my finger down, and the first word that my finger hits, it's gonna be the band name. Period. Like, that's it. And we're all like, oh, whatever, like, this is not real. But so I open it up, I put my finger down, and I look, and I'm just barefoot. And then instantly it sort of resonated in the air.